Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Heather, and on this channel we like to walk a fine line between a shopping addicted makeup monster and a responsible adult with a makeup hobby. Now, I love singles, palettes, duochromes, multichromes, shimmer, blushes, highlight, gloss, pretty much everything except pressed glitter. Today we are going to be talking about my palette roundup for March. I tested several palettes in March and I want to give you kind of my ranking as to which ones I think are the best. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stick with me. We're getting into it right now. Alright, you guys, and if you are interested in checking out this look, I did put a video together. It will be coming out, I believe, on Friday, and it's testing out some Trixie Cosmetics products. This is the first time I've tried their products out, so if you want to check out that video, it should be up on Friday. Let's get into these palettes. So I have, let's see, 3, 5, 7 palettes to talk to you about today. And I will start with the kind of my least favorites and work my way up towards my most favorites. The first two could be kind of interchangeable. They are made by the same brand, just different colorways, so I'm going to talk about them together. And that is the Profusion Fuchsia and the Profusion Violets. So I had been wanting to pick these up for a while. They are both 10 pan palettes and they cost $5 each, so pretty affordable. And you can pick them up at the Profusion website, but you can also pick them up at Walmart. So that's what the Violets one looks like. Definitely a little bit more cool toned. And then the Fuchsia is definitely more like, you got this nice vibrant like hot pink there. They do also make a mauve, so if this one kind of intrigues you but you don't want anything quite this vibrant, check out the mauves one, because it definitely pulls more of like these mauvey bricky rose type shades, so that one might be up your alley. But I tried that one a long time ago, so it's not included in this video. But as far as these two palettes, I think they blend really nicely. I think they make really nice looks. The colors are very impactful. They're good quality. For $5, I'm shocked. Like, I feel like they're about the same as quality-wise as the 9-pan palettes from ColourPop, which is saying a lot because those are kind of creeping up in price. I think they're now about like $14. So if you're looking for something that's like a simple, easy color story, definitely check these out. They have a ton of different ones. They have a lot of neutrals. They have some smoky, like cool tone neutrals. They have some warm tone neutrals. They have a neon brights palette, a rainbow palette, the mauves palette, and then these two palettes, and an emeralds palette. The emeralds palette, if you love greens, that is the one to go with. They're all really nice quality though. All of those I have tried except for the warm tone neutrals, because I just don't really care about those very much. But the rest of them, great quality. I can speak to them for $5. It's worth it. Profusion tends to do website sales too. Anywhere from like 20 to 30% off is what I would shoot for in terms of like actually making a purchase. They have sales on a pretty regular basis. Sometimes they're a little bit less than that though. So if you're wanting to make a purchase, maybe wait until one of those sales and then you could throw a couple of these in your cart. The other thing, if you're making a purchase from Profusion, would be to check out their individual brushes, because they do make really nice quality brushes, very soft. Alright, the next palette to talk about is the Tiffany's by Peachy Queen gift box palette. Now, there is a video on this palette up on my channel, so if you're interested in checking that out, I'll make sure that I have it linked down below. But this palette has this really beautiful like kind of teal silver color story, and then you have this pop of like kind of a metallic dusty plum shade in here. This black is actually more of like a dark gray, and I think that works really nicely because everything else in the palette is so light that I think if you put in a stark black it would be a little bit too intense. I really love this teal aqua shade in the middle. I think it is such a pretty shimmer color. I really enjoyed using this palette. The only duds for me were the 1837 shade and the Fabulous shade. I think because they're just so light that they just pull very ashy on me and you almost can't see them. So I'm not sure what the point is of having them anyway. I understand they fit with like the color story, so I think that's why it was done. They're just kind of throwaway shades for me. And then Gift Box and Classy, I really don't think you needed both of those shades because they're both so similar. I think Classy was like the perfect color, and I think Gift Box was the perfect color, and I think Classy is just pulling a little bit too like yellow toned green. So I would have maybe subbed that shade out with something else, like perhaps a matte that was really dark teal like this. I think that would have really pulled this color story together. Regardless, I have teals in my other color, like in my other palettes, so I don't need to have the teal in this one, and I think you can make some really pretty looks with this. Again, I did do a video with this one, so if you're interested in checking it out, I'll make sure it's linked down below. Alright, The next one, see this, the order for my palettes this month really surprised me because I really thought it was going to end up in a different order. But the next one I want to talk about is actually the Pie palette from Glamlight. Now this came in my BYOB Beauty Box exchange that I do with my aunt, UTK Unfiltered, here on YouTube. Definitely check those videos out if you have not yet, and you can check out her channel while you're at it. This is the little palette, and then when you pop it open, it has this adorable little color story. And I love this color story for like sweet potato, mixed berry, pumpkin. This cherry pie blush is beautiful. These shimmers are to die for. The Mud Pie and the Nutty Pecan, they pool very, very warm, and I wish they would have almost stuck with more of like the burgundy kind of shades in this palette rather than like also going towards like the brown shades, but I understand that those are very popular colors, so I'm not going to hold it against them. This Apple Pie color is really pretty as an inner corner highlight as well. All in all, I think this is a beautiful palette, and I've been really enjoying playing with this particular palette. I haven't tried a Glamlight palette I haven't liked yet. And I love the packaging. It looks like one of those little individual pies that you pick up at the grocery store. So, very cute. Alright, the top 3 palettes. Now this is where it got challenging because I tried a lot of palettes this month that I really liked. I mean, 7, but I tried a lot and I really liked a lot of them for a lot of different reasons. But the next one I want to talk about is this little guy right here. This is the I Heart Revolution Black Pearl palette, and it looks like absolutely nothing when you look at it. So when you pop it open, this is what it looks like. This looks like the most generic, boring, ashy, bland, hypopigmented color story you've ever seen in your life. But there's something about this palette when you actually use it that it looks so nice on the eyes. It's actually a very soft formula. It's very easy to blend. These two mattes, even though they look so similar in pan, they actually pull a little bit different when you put them on the eyes. These like tones here make for really nice like transition shades. You've got this kind of lilac leaning silvery purple shade, which I think just adds enough dimension to this to keep it like a little bit more interesting than just a black and white palette. And then you've got 2 silvers. I love this palette, and it's $6. I could not believe when I started using this palette, I think I used it for like a week straight, and I never do that with palettes. Like, I'm not the person to use the same exact palette over and over and over. I'm always looking for variety. I always want to mix it up. One day I want blue, the next day I want pink, the next day I want orange. I'm not a person to like repeat palettes that hard, and this one I repeated for like a week straight. So that's telling you something. On top of which, I think this was like $6 or $8. Like, it was basically free. I got it at Ulta. You can get it at Makeup Revolution or at Ulta. Definitely remember to use your coupon. If you end up picking up some other stuff, then you can get like $3.50 off, and that makes this even cheaper. I'm telling you, if you like cool tones, if you like smoky looks, this is the palette to pick up. This is like all you ever need. Not all you're ever gonna buy, because girl, I got you, but this is all you'd ever need. Alright, the next palette to talk about, and these two, I had a really hard time putting these two in order, and honestly, at any moment I could probably change the order. Not that I'm, like, editing Heather is not going to go back and change the order at this point, but know that these two are pretty much interchangeable for like first and second place, because they're both such good quality, and they're both giving me such great color stories, great color, like, looks that I've been so happy with. So, Limoncello. We knew it was coming. ColourPop Limoncello palette. This palette is beautiful. I've done several looks with this one that I've worn to work. I did post a video on my channel already with this one, so you will see that video. I think it was last Friday's video, so I'll link that down below. I love the color story. I love this kind of like plummy brown. I love the pop of blue in here. I know it's neutrals with a pop of blue. I know. They got me. It's okay. I've made peace with it. But I love the actual tone of the blue that they picked out. I think it's really pretty. I did this really nice kind of like yellow look with these two shades, and then put this all over my lid and popped a little bit of gold glitter over top of it, and then smoked this out on my lower lash line for like a two-tone kind of look. And I got so many compliments at work. I was feeling like high on positive energy that day because this palette gave me such nice looks. Now, if you can't get your hands on this palette, or if you don't want to buy this palette, I have seen swatches that show a lot of the colors in here are very, very similar to the Urban Decay Naked Honey. So if you already have that, you may not necessarily need this palette, but I already had that and I needed this palette. So I think this is such a beautiful color story, and I'm really enjoying playing with it. I can't wait to keep playing with it. And then the last one for this month was one that I actually have not put up a formal video on yet, but I've been trying it a lot off camera, and that is the Odin's Eye Norns palette. So this one I picked up when they did their original launch. I picked it up with a couple of the highlighters, and I did use the highlighters in one of my like Green Week videos for St. Patrick's Day, which was a couple weeks ago, so you can see that. But this, I love this. So I've used this shade, this shade, this shade, this shade, this shade. I've used these 2 shades, and I've used these 3 shades. So I've used a good amount of the palette. I'm actually wearing some of this palette on my lids today. As a matter of fact, these 2 shades here are on my lid and in my crease. I think the color story in here is so pretty. It's so interesting, and like, it's not a typical color story that you see from like any other brand. I feel like Odin's Eye does such a good job of coming up with these like funky, interesting color stories that somehow when you look at them, you're like, I don't think that's gonna work together. But then when you go to put looks together, you're like, oh yeah, I could put these 3 things together or these 5 shades together, and you can make some really cool looks. I have really enjoyed playing with this, and these shimmers, when you put these shimmers on with like a glitter glue, they're so pretty. I have been so happy with the shimmers in this palette. Like, they are just so reflective, so interesting, and I love this one is like a silvery taupe with like a brass colored sparkle in it. Like, it's so nice. Odin's Eye has heard feedback from their Alva 2 palette that people are just over the pressed glitters. So the Alva 2 is the only one that has pressed glitters in it, and I think going forward they're not going to be including any more pressed glitters. I think that's an awesome thing because their shimmer formula is so great. I don't think you need it. So this definitely made it all the way to #1 for me, and you can see like it's just, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Alright, and so those are the 7 eyeshadow palettes that I tested out in the month of March. I want to hear from you. What did you think was the most interesting color story out of all the palettes that I picked out? Or do you have any of these palettes? Are you enjoying using any of these palettes? Are you planning to pick any of these palettes up? Definitely let me know in a comment down below. If you guys pick up this Black Pearl palette and you like it as much as I do, please let me know, because I feel like this is like undiscovered gem. Undiscovered gem. Alright, and with that said, I think that's everything for this video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe before you go, and I'm going to catch you in my next video. Bye!